Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, and thank you for stopping by. All right, guys, on this episode of Bullet Points, we're going to dive into a response to an opinion piece by one of the Washington Post readers. Now, they sent this letter to the editor around the whole Fourth Circuit Court deciding that 18 and 20-year-olds could carry guns, which was then later vacated because the individual who brought the lawsuit aged out of the lawsuit. Basically, she turned 21 before she could facilitate the lawsuit, which would go up through the entire system. So it was a moot point, but it wasn't based on the rights or the question. It was based on age. That's what they're referring to in this article. But one of the things that we talk about a lot on this channel is the left has a lot of talking points, whether it be gun control, whether it be abortion, whether it be immigration, whatever tenet that they want or a pillar of the Democratic Party that they want to go with. Each one of them has been focal point tested. It's been in focus groups. It works really well for them. It has nice little slogans in that one little area. And if it rhymes, it's a bonus. But when you take that exact same stance and you apply it to a different part of our society, it falls apart. Because that's what it all is. It's all about focus points, it's all about one-liners, and all about basically motivating people around emotion. That's the entire design. But this is important because this individual takes gun rights from one side, takes abortion rights from the other, and brings them together. And I want to show you how this falls apart because this is important as we go forward. 2022 and moving on. But listen to this. And I want to know what you guys think. If you guys like the way that I do this, if you guys agree with the point, let me know in the comments field below. And the article is actually linked down there in the description box. But here's what we're talking about. Opinion. Guns, abortion, and relegating some to second-class status. Now, they brought that second class in here, really important, but listen to what they did because that was actually part of the ruling from the Fourth Circuit around the firearms. The September 23rd news article, quote, ruling on gun sales too young, vacated, described the July decision of a federal appeals court panel to allow a prospective buyer to purchase a handgun despite her being under the legal age of limit 21. The conservative majority argued that the law relegated 18 to 20-year-olds to a second-class status in terms of their Second Amendment rights and would drive these young adults to unlicensed dealers. Now, this is important because this person made this up, that in part. I'm going to explain to you what happened. The ruling that came down from the Fourth Circuit was about 18 to 20-year-olds who are currently banned from buying firearms, not owning firearms, buying firearms. They can still embrace their Second Amendment right, but they cannot buy a handgun in the United States. Different states have different varying degrees, but as a rule, you cannot buy a handgun until you're 21. Some states allow you to, but as a rule, they don't, right? Now, they never said, ever, that in terms of their Second Amendment rights and would drive these young adults to unlicensed dealers. That's not what they said at all. The court decision was basically saying you can't discriminate on 18 to 20-year-olds because of a precedent law. That's just what they said. They never said it would drive them to unlicensed dealers, but you can see where they're going with this. Everything is all about, well, if you don't let them do it, they're just going to do it anyway, especially when it comes to abortion. But what's fascinating is every gun control law in the world is good until you enact it, which they're just going to go ahead and do it anyway, except on their gun control laws, because that only applies to abortion. Do you see what I'm saying? People are going to do what people are going to do, except when it comes to gun laws, in which case they're not going to do what it's going to do, and it's someone else's fault. Check it out. I'm going to keep on going. Listen to what he says about and how he brings in abortion. Fortunately, the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Fourth Circuit Court vacated its own decision because the woman who brought the challenge turned 21 before the ruling formally took effect. Now, this is important. They say fortunately, so obviously they don't agree that 18 and 20-year-olds should be able to buy handguns. They can own them, but they can't buy them. Does that make sense to you? And also, if the left was so enamored with universal background checks, why would they be wanting to resist 18 to 20-year-olds to going through the handgun buying process of a background check that's already installed in all 50 states through the FBI, but they're okay buying guns or having guns and owning them without a background check? Do you see what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense. Their logic is so focused on they shouldn't be able to have guns that they circumvent their entire universal background check desires. This entire thing is falling apart because it doesn't make sense. There is no ruling that could make that make sense. I keep going. I do wonder whether that panel would apply the same logic to the recently enacted Texas abortion restrictions that similarly reduce a woman's constitutional right to an abortion to second class status and will inevitably drive many pregnant women to unlicensed practitioners and other dangerous choices. Color me skeptical. Well, I'm going to color you skeptical. But the big thing here is they are making an argument for the fact that restrictive laws on any activity do not work. They are arguing that you cannot legislate morality, except on new gun laws and universal background checks and everything that they want to do. Because when you enact laws against one of their tenets, all of a sudden people aren't going to follow laws. And that's what I have for you on the bullet points this morning. Let me know what you guys think, and I will see you tonight at the 9 p.m. segment. This is Braden, signing out.